himself into harm's way, when I saw him run to the car to the truck, I'm like, oh God. Because we know you go to the truck and he's pushing. Him and the cop pushing that. Not one time it was not pushing. Not one time. And that really showed me that this is not America. But she would seclude herself and then just get in front of the camera and just disrespect people. And she came here with $200. How you come here with $200? I got your brothers and sisters. They're bringing you everything. They're catering to you. This is what you do. It's not in demand. So we have to realize that we come here, but we are one. We have to talk to our brothers and sisters to understand their culture and for them to understand our culture. We're all African, but we have different cultures. Americans, we were taught by the white man. We have the white man's education. You see what I'm saying? But we need to come together as one and get rid of all the riffraff. Because Americans, like I said, we are going to be our own tribe. Because we can't have a bickering back and forth because we need each other. Yes. We need each other. So if we weren't connected in America, when we come here, we have no other right but to be connected.
You leave all the bull crap behind. You move here with that same scamming people stuff, man.
I agree.
And we were galvanized because it's only a few of us. But there were some folks, like you were saying before, they didn't leave their neurosis and their mental challenges behind. Now, we do know if you eat better, you're going to think better. But if you come here eating the same kind of food, how are you going to make any progress?
You're not. There are, if they would have did what they were supposed to do, it wouldn't have been any problems because we would have, guest houses make money. We are going to, just like with our Gambian brothers and sisters, if they go to America, they're going to look for their Gambian brothers and sisters or somewhere where they can communicate, speak the language, and live their culture.
Yes.
Same thing here, right? We have been taught in America, don't go to Africa. Those people are this, those people are that, it's poor. A lawyer told me, you're going to get AIDS. I said, you can get AIDS in America, bruh. If you are out here cheating on your wife, which that's what you were doing, you can get that there.
AIDS is a disease created by the white man.
But it's just the mindset of what we were taught. When I was younger, I always said I wanted to go to Africa. When I finally got the opportunity to come here to study abroad 9 years ago, people in the church, why are you going to Africa? Why you want to go to Africa? I'm like, because I'm African. Why wouldn't you want to go where your ancestors are from? So the mindset is a disconnection. They've created this disconnection. It's us and them. We're all African.
But we have folks that have been put in positions to defend the established positions of those that have been trying to keep us suppressed. We're talking about, and I'm stepping on toes, fraternities. We're talking about the bootlegs.
Yes.
I mean, you just go up so far and they want to pull you down.
Right.
We've had some folks, talk shows, they won't touch us because we are about truth, we're about integrity. And we're about what? Keeping the same status quo. As long as they're looking out for themselves and their immediate families, how reptilian.
Yeah.
That's just the way they are.
Yeah.
But you know what I tell people, I was telling one of the Bohemian brothers from the Bahamas, and he was trying to understand. And I was like, man, you doing good for yourself, man, you finished school, you doing the electrical thing. I said, I'm doing okay for myself, but my status hasn't changed. And he was like, what do you mean? I said, let's just say I became rich, and I got like $1 billion or something, and I moved to Beverly Hills. The first thing, and I'm moving to white, Beverly Hills is white. The first thing the white people gonna be like is, what he do to get over here?
Yeah.
How he get over here?
Yeah.
Why he stay over here? You know what I mean? Do he sell drugs? What type of work do he do?
Is he an athlete?
Yeah, he an athlete.
Are you an entertainer?
So if I go down and drive my car and the police pull me over, the first thing they're gonna ask me is, whose car is this? Where did you get this car?
Correct.
Where did you work? Let me see your license and registration.
Prove it.
Okay. The second thing is, I might take her shopping. We might go shopping. We might go to Christian Dior or Louis Vuitton or somewhere. They gonna follow us around. They gonna follow us around, make sure we not stealing. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, pretend like, oh, can we help you out with anything? You know, before we get to the door, we go to the finest 5-star restaurants. They gonna be cautious of serving us because they think we're gonna walk out or we're not gonna tip them and stuff like that.
We can't afford it.
But what I was telling him these things is, you see how they was treating me, even though if I had that money, you see how they was treating me. The reason why, because no matter how much money you get, you can't, they look, when they see you, they don't look at you as an individual. They look at your people and they see the predicament of your people. You can take a white boy and he can be trailer park trash. He can be lowest of the low, but he can still go work somewhere and get the same respect or much respect as Eddie Murphy or anybody else because they look at the predicament of his people. When they see us, black people think this is an individual thing. No, when the white man see us, they see us as a group. They look at us, okay, look at the predicament of his people. It's impossible for him to be living in a house like that. It's impossible for her to be driving a car like that. It's impossible for him to be working that type of job like that. It's impossible for him to have the education that he has. So they look at us as a group of people. And so if we try to strive off an individual, you're gonna fall. You're not gonna never get the success because you will never be able to rise above your people because the predicament. And when they see us, they see the predicament. You can go anywhere. You can go to China. They gonna look at you as, oh man, they looking at you like, oh, black people are dirty. You bad. You can go to Philippines. Oh man, you're dirty. You know what I mean? But that white man, that trailer park white man, he can have on the raggedest clothes. He can have on. They'll bring him food. Oh, he just doing bad for a moment. He will uprise.
And they'll try to help him.
They'll try to help him. They'll help him. They'll help him. So man, we got to get on off that individualness. Quit being individual, because when they look at us, they look at us as our predicament. Our predicament. They looking at us as a group predicament, and our predicament is the lowest and lowest.
They put us there.
Because you see, if we don't come together, if we, I want to share this on my YouTube, but if we don't come together as a people, as a group, if we don't come together, we know China already said Africa should be theirs, right? And they won. If I'm not mistaken, they colonized Zambia, and there's too many people in China, and they see
cities.
Africa is the Garden of Eden. None of these continents will be able to sustain themselves if it wasn't for Africa. This is why every other continent is in Africa, stealing Mother Africa dry, raping Mother Africa dry. But if we don't come together, and China takes over Africa, we all gonna be slaves again.
Believe it or not, the next great world war will be the fight over Africa.
I agree.
It always has been.
I agree.
Even you can ask, but I got this history from Professor James Smalls, who says, you know what I mean, the first World War started over. They don't tell you over Africa.
And all the wars have been
Africa. When the Berlin Conference and they kind of cheated. They cheated Germany out. And Germany was mad years and years. And it was like, okay, the rest of Europe living high off the hog. We finna bring all of Europe down. We can't eat. You know, so the next great war will be over Africa.
Yes.
But the thing is, we have to have the knowledge of that. We got to have the knowledge what's under our feet, what's in this soil. And once, this is my intake of it. This is my intake. It's gonna come a time. It ain't happened yet, but this is my intake. I could be wrong, but it's gonna come a time where white people are gonna start slaughtering black people in America by the thousands.
I agree.
By the thousands.
Because that's what they seem like they're building up to now.
Have you heard of the COVID-19 jab?
And we have John Legend on a commercial. This is for us.
Yes.
This is not for us. They have experimented on us and not.
Did you get yours? It's gonna be a social status. I see it on Facebook. I got mine. Did you get yours?
Someone said that to me here.
So, but you see, this is how they gonna do. They got the 3 M's. They do it when they come to Africa. They got missionaries, military. I mean, no, they come with the money second, and then they come with the military. Same with the Corona. You got John Legend. He's the missionary. You got these missionaries.
All these black
Then they finna start. Then they gonna come with get your shot. Then they gonna come with the money, and then after that they gonna be like knocking on your
They're
door.
already offering the money because in Ohio they put you into a lottery to win $1 million if you get the vaccine. They're already. It's already happening.
I was wondering if we could possibly look at this just a slight different way. From the years that I've been here, and also, just going out. I've been here almost 5 years. Okay, from the years that I've been here, and before coming from Turtle Island, we call it America.
Hey, but he nice.
Yeah, we're just looking at it.
Thank you. How are you? Thank you. You're looking good too.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I'll get an official hug.
How are you?
So pretty, I'm okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, look at that. How are you? Spicy, tasty vegan. How's salad?
That's how you know the Americans.
Haile Selassie. I always forget that. Thank you.
Ethiopian.
Thank you. He's an Ethiopian. That's right. Wow. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I let my staff, make me up today. I haven't done it in a long time. And it's hot today, so you have to be comfortable.
Every time I see you all, you are dressed alike. You do this all the time.
Yeah, he asked me, what should I wear today? And I said, put this on.
She does a very good job
The only
taking
thing-
care of me, feeding me, and dressing me appropriately so I don't embarrass her. So I'm cool.
Yeah.
That's the partnership. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and plus he's a person that's in the public's eye all the time with singing.
Yeah.
So he's always, get on the stage and look really nice, but after the stage he'll just throw on anything. I mean, I've seen him wear an outfit for 2 weeks. I think you may have seen him go home. Well,
He's in the house, he doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
And in defense, there is no fashion patrol here.
I keep telling him that. I keep telling him that. He's like, baby, how does this go? I said, baby, you look so good. Oh my God. I said, you look fine.
It doesn't matter here.
Anything you put on is covering.
It's
It looks
covering.
great. You look fabulous.
Yeah.
So you still.
Yeah, I just wanted to say too,
Yes.
just look at it from a different perspective of consciousness. And if we were to look at it from different folks that are on certain levels of consciousness that are, we won't say that are problems to us, but certain challenges. But it's my understanding and my belief that they're on their way out. Because the planet that we're on right now is ascending at a very fast rate. That's why you look at time and it shot by, just like that.
Yes.
So if your energy is very dense and heavy, like liars, cheaters, thieves, murderers, all of this is dense energy. It's weight. It can't stay on. It has to fall off. And so that's what you have. Even though the appearance may be interesting and peculiar, but they're leaving. In America, they're leaving because some of them have elected through either fear or stupidity. Okay? Now, also in China, if you've been following what has been happening for the last 5 to 6 months, China's been flooding. 1/4 of China looks like a water park. And most of the dams that to relieve the pressure, they do it at night when a lot of people are sleeping.
Correct.
So you've had a lot of folks that are no longer here in China. And many of the people now are committing sideways or suicide because they know of the impending famine. And it's real easy to do it. All you gotta do is stop drinking water for 3 days.
That's true.
Watch Tom and Jerry or whatever, and you're gone.
Yeah.
So, and you have the others in the United States and others that are wearing those masks for over 2 hours at a time. You do that, you have irreversible brain damage. And it's a slippery slope. From there, your brain, which would be in charge of your immune system, can't do it. So when something simple like a simple cold or the flu, it's
Taking you out.
you're out. And some people may label it whatever they want to label it. But in terms of consciousness, those that are on a lower level, the 3D consciousness, they can't stay on this plane. There's another planet that's similar to this, where they're going to go and complete their evolution, whichever way that goes. But they can't be on this one. And that's why they're going the way they're going. Just a different way of looking at it. And the other way, I understand that we are all one, no matter the way it looks at it. And what we've been talking about is some people that, kind of landed on this free will planet about 26,000 years ago. And even though they have kind of like had people to do their bidding or whatever, like with everything else, the pendulum goes up and it comes back down. And if you look at it in terms of sheer number, there are more people of color here than there are people that don't have the melanin. So just the numbers itself, you'll have more hybrid people and more people that are doing the bidding. There are people of color. That is why the brother pointed out, our challenge had been dealing with our folks, because we know what the other perspectives are.
Yeah, we know that devil.
Yeah, we know what those perspectives are. So the bottom line is, it looks like this is a perfect time because the heads of the states have been taken off. You know that. It looks like the swamp is being drained because now they no longer have the big heads to hold on to. So it's those others that were working for them and their relatives. Okay? And I see them being taken out. That is why Mom and I are just staying put, like that character they named in Roots Kissing, until things get better. And they are. We see it right before our eyes. And as a result of that, we're going to have less folks on the planet. And as I said before, can you imagine in your mind a planet without stupid and people or people in fear?
That's the
We have made it.
Yeah, well, we got to hear your perspective on this.
Oh, yes, interesting. From a Gambian perspective, talking about the disenfranchisement of all people, of African people everywhere. That's already a cause for us to unite, wherever we are in. But we are all disenfranchised in many, many ways. In America, in Gambia, in Ethiopia. But we have people call themselves, under the names Black American. Yeah, fine. Amharic, you are from Ethiopia, Amharic. And we went over to America. So, it's all about going back to the originalities and finding out these realities, bringing them out, and sharing it with one another. But we need a lot of work to do. First, we need to heal ourselves. We're talking about the egocentricness. That's already a spiritual blockage. So that we need to heal. If people are not working collaboratively, that's already an issue from the spirit. But spirits are united already. So why are you not manifesting that from a physical level then? That's a blockage between your energy channel. So the food and the right combinations will be a tool to remedy that traumatic situation we find ourselves.
Well, it was pointed out by one of the doctors here in the Gambia that mama's concoction, when you take things like that to detox yourself and you start to have an intake of food that serves your body, then the chromosomes start to come back together. And that means that the aging process as we know it retards, slows down, and even reverses. And once you come together with your chromosomes, you come together with your higher self. Because all of us have had our DNA tweaked. That's just part of our experience. Mama is raising a dog, a vegan dog. She has to start at one point, but once again, it changes that you have to change the DNA. You have to do it slowly. It doesn't happen overnight. And we're changing our DNA by our intake, whether it's the food we take or our thoughts. That is why we have the healthy, well-being lives. And basically, we put that out there using divine principles, because the more you give thanks for what you have, the more you're given to be thankful for. And if you do anything up to 21 or more consecutive days, you start to break the habits. And we pointed out it's very difficult fighting against your subconscious. That's what we developed from the time where our inception up until about 70. But if you create a different paradigm, a different model, rather than fighting against that, it makes it easier. So we've suggested when you get up in the morning, give thanks for at least 5 things. Of course, you gotta go to the bathroom, especially if you're older as us.
Drink plenty of water.
Give thanks.
Yes.
Give thanks.
That's very important.
Yes. I can't believe people don't drink water.
I know.
Well, hydration is part of your intake. But if you give thanks for 5 things and do it with feeling, and I can give you that information because when you do it with feeling, the vibration helps to manifest things. And you also forgive one person or one thing. And the one thing I pointed out before could be the cow that's brushing up against your fence, or the goat that's jumping over eating things in your garden. It could be the cow that's grunting at night so you can't sleep, or the chicken that's pooping in the walkway you just swept up. Or it could be a person. And as I said before, forgive them for 2 reasons. They were doing the best thing they could at the time you felt they did or didn't do what you thought would hurt, hinder, or harm you. And remember I said you thought, because sometimes we can be mistaken. But you forgive that person because at the time they were doing the best they could with their level of awareness, their understanding, inner or overstanding, their knowingness, their desire or willingness to change. And you forgive yourself, God, because nothing could happen without your participation. Whether you put something in place lifetime before or this lifetime. So you forgive yourself because at the time you did or didn't do whatever the act was, you were doing the best you could at that time. If you want to elevate it, you can go to 7 and 2 or 10 and 3. But by using the divine principles, the more you give thanks, the more you give and be thankful for. And when you do that, you get a mindset of not only being humble, but also forgiving and inclusive of everyone.
Forgiveness is believing. The more you forgive, the more you clear out the toxicities in your energy. So you will see people will forgive on their dying bed, their last breath, they will release and forgive. That was holding that person, the individual was holding that. He could not fly away. That grudge or whatever what is was holding, harboring of negative emotions, prolonging, as a very negative consequences in your spirit even when you live in. So the earlier some will do it instantly in a day, or some will do it a week or a month. Some will do it instantly after the incident. Of course, as a high kind of put it there, manifest. Analyzing the issues and then finding the forgiveness part of it, moving.
Spicy Tasty in our book, it points out, unless you forgive, you can't heal. Because your thoughts create your body's situation.
Wow. Thank you for that. Well, today we just decided to just, I think it's another lady, Sharon Brown.
Yes.
Have you met her? Yeah, Sharon, she's supposed to come today, so we're really looking forward to seeing her because she put some really positive information out there about, I think it was 5 or 6 women here in the Gambia that she highly esteemed us. And I mean, it's just rewarding because there's so much going on, negative and all of that, but for her to point out to Cynthia, Susan Barr, and the Bad family, and then she said something about 2 other people.
Phoenix, she mentioned.
And Phoenix, she mentioned Phoenix, and then I was shocked, she mentioned me too.
I was shocked when she mentioned me.
Yeah, so you were the one she
so
mentioned.
you were the teacher she talked about.
Yeah,
You heard some
okay.
wonderful things about you.
So when you
thanks
hear,
for coming.
yeah, well, I'm glad you pointed that out because I know that there were 3 other people. I wasn't sure, but yeah, we met her. I think the same time I met you. And Mo too.
Yeah,
That was what, about 8 months ago, you
Yes.
said. Wow.
Yes.
It's just amazing, how now, the Americans, I've been hearing in the last year now, and now we're slowly beginning to meet them.
Yes.
And so it's really wonderful. And like you said, Bobo, yeah, we do need some healing, because all of us have come from some very challenged situations, like myself, even in the household as a child, growing up with not having my own father, and everyone else had theirs. But I was the oldest, and I knew that I wanted to one day not be in that situation. So I prepared myself to get out and, finish high school at 17, so at 18, when my mother said, well, you have to leave at 18 because you don't follow rules, or you don't want to do this or that or another. So I prepared myself at 18. I was out there. And it wasn't easy. So I know all of us, have had to go out and deal with some things, and it takes a long time to get through it. And then for those of us who've gotten through it and we were able to make it here on the motherland, the continent, it's a blessing. Now I'm challenged with how come I can't go to Ethiopia, because I don't want to go through the testing, because I have a fear, to me, to taking any type of vaccination or any type of swabs, because I'm already working on my DNA, to stay healthy. I'm making an effort to do it. So I don't need anyone to tell me, oh, just loop us all together and say everybody needs a shot, or everybody needs to go through this, or whatever it is they want us to go through. Some are willingly going through it because they're under medical attention. So it's, one of my children said, I asked him, I said, did you ever take a flu shot? And he said, oh yes, when I was 35 or 37, the doctor asked me about it and he took it. So I learned that if you've taken one vaccination, then all the rest of them are following, for whatever reason. So hopefully those that have gone through it, we know that some have transitioned because their body couldn't deal with it. And I'm not sure if I may be on one way or another, so I'd rather just, as my husband said, just stay here where we are until hopefully some of our Africans, with their airlines, we can use them and not have to go through all of that in time. We can invest in it, we can. I mean, I went to school in the 70s with one African American. She and her family and friends, they chartered a plane to, I think, Tanzania, back in the Tanzania, back in the 70s.
You had it.
Tanzania.
Tanzania?
Yes, Tanzania. That's the one it is, but in those days we were indoctrinated to say Tanzania.
I'm like, you've been taught wrong the whole time.
Yeah. Well, because
I'm still getting over that the lion is the king of the jungle. King of the jungle. The lion. And the lion don't even live in the jungle. I mean, they had so many things. Oh, girl, in America?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it comedy. Let's look at it in terms of sunshine and shadow, okay? Because we take the collective of all that we've gone through that's helped to make us what we are today. And my wife is just a wonderful example of that. She's shown about the different challenges she's had to go through. And she's very modest about it. I mean, when she tells me what she went through, it's like, no! What did you do in another life to have to go through that? Anyway.
And then we have the sister, of course, your name is Shantae, yes.
My American name is Shantae, my Gambian name is Maimuna.
Maimuna.
Oh, it's beautiful. I like that. Well, then we're going to have to use that name. Yes.
What is the name?
I'm not sure.
Uh-oh, girl.
I'm not sure what it means. One of the sisters, someone's, Yeah, that's how you say mom.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Someone's mom gave it to me, and I went to school with a sister named Maimuna, and I always liked her name.
Oh,
But I'm gonna research it. I'm happy you asked me that because I know it's a Muslim name.
Maimun is a Muslim name.
It's a Muslim name.
One of the 12 women wives of Prophet Muhammad.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So one of the 12 wives? The prophet? The prophet had 12 wives? I thought you could only have 4. Muhammad. He had 12 wives.
Yes.
He didn't have them all at once. I know Khadijah was the first wife. So she must have died and then more wives. No, Aisha was one, or that's daughter?
Aisha also is a daughter of a friend.
A daughter
Of a friend he married.
of a friend.
What?
Okay.
Father Abu Bakr.
Abu Bakr? Abu Bakr,
Abu
yeah.
Bakr is the father of Aisha. Aisha was married to him when she was 9 years old.
9 years old. Wow. But I'm sure when I understand when men in those days of high esteem married those women, they just, I guess they paid for that wife. So when that wife matured to womanhood, that was the proper way of doing it, as I remember, as I recall from the studies. But nowadays it's not like that.
According to the hadith, to the stories related that Aisha and Prophet Muhammad seen, he said she was given to him at the age of 6.
At the age of 6?
6, and they get consummated at 9. So she came to the house at 9.
At 9?
At 9, yeah.
After her cycle, I think. But you know, nowadays, you know, they call it like.
And then he also had one of his wife. He was from his son, daughter. The daughter-in-law. He had an adopted son called Zayd. Zayd, yes. Zayd was his adopted son. He was a black man. He had his wife.
Okay.
Muhammad came in there, and then he asked for the hand of marriage of his son daughter-in-law.
His daughter-in-law.
These are true narratives that Muslim schools teach out in the hadith. You have them there.
Yeah.
But many Muslims nowadays are so dumb to this.
They don't know.
It seems like a very new story that I have not seen the blue. Right, you know, the scholars have been teaching out.
Yeah, that's a blessing when you do have that connection, you know, to the history. Because I believe that everybody, wherever we all come, we come with a form of history. Like we know ours more from America. And I understand being the Fuller tribe, you know, people say, oh, you're a Fuller. Well, I learned that the Fullers are the ones that travel throughout the world, the planet. And we're everywhere. So if we were in Egypt, you know, we were in Egypt and we were scholars and educators and all of that. And then when these invaders came in, and like in America, the invaders came there, what did we do? We started taking them in. I think in, another country, Pakistan, no, Palestine. Palestine is another place. I remember a Muslim at the college where I work, and he said the reason why they're been enslaved and treated badly is because they said it was the prophet, the God that they know. If someone is hungry, and displaced, they bring them in. And they don't think about that one day they get up on their feet or they marry into the family, then they start taking over and killing them. You know, and so I think that's what we've had a lot because we've opened the doors for our colonizers and our invaders, you know, because it's our nature.
That's the true nature of us.
That's the true nature
That's why
of
we
us.
were here to be the first guardians and the keepers of this earth. That's why he brought us here, whoever he was, to come here for us and represent that. Plant that seed.
Yes.
You know? Could you imagine if the other people were the first to come into India? Maybe we would not be there.
Oh yeah.
So with that being said, how do you feel about us welcoming everyone? Because we welcome everyone in, and everyone is not frenemy. Everyone is not friendly.
Welcoming everyone and reconciliation with everyone is a different thing. how I see it.
You said record.
Reconciliating.
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 Uh-huh.
For me, I cannot seek reconciliation with my mother, and that's suicide.
Correct.
Anytime you can see the pendulum. So, I'm not forgetting that.
But we can't be mad at our ancestors or anybody that does that because that's a part of us being human. It's impossible to be human without having color, melanin. And you know, we got to realize that we're not dealing with humans, but we are humans and we got a human heart. I can take someone in, I can look at that animal and say, poor animal, or poor people, or poor somebody like that. And so I can't be knowing my nature and the status of my nature, me being a human, because it's impossible to, the word "hu" means color.
Yes.
So it's impossible to have a human heart without you. You know what I mean? So I can't be mad at my ancestors. Sometimes be like, man, why my ancestors do this? But I gotta understand they are human.
They're human.
But we dealing with a kind of a man, which is what we
mankind.
Mankind.
Yeah.
Kind of man.
There's a difference.
It's a big difference.
So do you think that we should be more restrictive with who we welcome into our
Maybe
villages?
this time, the way that, and maybe this COVID situation is already putting it in place.
Yes,
And you know, and once we become more aware as the time goes on, we'll know that we are supposed to look out for certain ones of us, and the others we have to close that door. Like Muhammad Ali said one time, there was
Doing all of them.
10 snakes, you know, coming at you, and we know 8 of them are not gonna touch you. So are you, those other 2 that's coming that you know they're evil, what you gonna do? You gotta close the door on all of
Yeah,
them.
stay away from all snakes. He said, Ali said, I ain't got time to separate the good snakes from the bad snakes. I stay away from all snakes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the saying. That's the one. I'll just put it out there.
Well, we are blessed dog here, and she has an ability to tell if somebody's vibration or chi don't match with ours. She
Yes.
will bark, and we've had folks validate, like, yeah, he's a very stubborn boy, or this one. And we've seen some folks here. It's like their energy ain't right, and she's barking. So we also have that ability to raise our vibration and also to bring in those that are on our level of understanding. And that is why, you know, we use the healthy, well-being, wise folks. We say, look, if you want to run with us, remember, turkeys don't fly with eagles.
Correct.
You know, and we would be doing ourselves a disservice to try to fly with somebody who can't appreciate where we are, because they'll end up being destructive, latching out, and in some ways trying to impede us, simply because they're in pain based on where they are. What about food?
Oh yeah, I was thinking we're gonna eat some food because we want to get those chefs working before they decide to leave out of here.
Okay.
And leave us with everything.
Maybe we should check on Sharon.
With Sharon, all right, she just texted me. She said for us to go ahead and eat. She said she's 10 minutes away. She did tell the taxi 1:30. But if I knew it, because I live 4 minutes away from you all.
What?
4 minutes. I didn't know that. I know when Phoenix came, I didn't get a chance to come, but I'm so happy that Sharon did invite me. But I'm 4 minutes away, so I'm going to
so
be
you close to
regular.
us. Cool.
A regular,
anytime.
yes.
And a
Because I need
fellow
to get back to
Cancerian.
eating. Yes, I'm
She's a
July
Cancer?
13th.
What?
Yeah, and hopefully I'll see the brother that's July 14th.
The other one's
Is-
supposed to come, Evie, yeah.
You know, I just hired him. He just came to my house yesterday. I
Evie?
have 2 dogs
Oh,
to do a
wow.
home assessment.
Oh,
I
my
literally
goodness.
just met him within the past couple days.
Really? No
Yeah.
wonder he's so active. He's a very good brother.
He really is. I'm so grateful that someone connected us.
Yeah.
The cop situation. Moses from the UK came over and talked to me, and we exchanged numbers, and I'm so happy he did. It was a bad situation, but I met a good brother in the process because he introduced me to Ibrahim. And I just want to ask this real quick. I want to ask, I just want to put it out there. I'm doing a foundation, like I said, I'm registered in a nonprofit foundation. But I didn't know that you are an artist because we're trying to have, in July next month, I want to have a fundraising dinner. Americans, Gambians, all our African brothers and sisters dressed up in their best attire. I'm not going to say the place yet because I still need to talk to the owner, but we are looking, I would like to have a Gambian, a local Gambian artist, an American artist, or an African that was born in America, and then, I heard there's a dance group, a dance academy. So I would like to go there and have just a nice event, fundraising event to raise money for the nonprofit organization so we can get that. But I do want to talk to you about that because we would like to have a variety of artists so that way, because there's going to be some Africans born in America, there's going to be some Gambians, there's going to be our native brothers and sisters from here, but just to bridge the gap and to come together, because I've never been able to go to these galas or galas that, I didn't have enough money to buy the ticket, so we create our own.
Yeah.
And I love flag, we create our own.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Correct.
So maybe now we can have our own. We will have our own.
And I love getting dressed up. I'm a female, I love getting dressed up.
Yeah.
And, all our clothes here, people take it for granted that you have a tailor making your clothes. How many times can we go into a store, whether it's Macy's? Okay, so I don't shop at Macy's, but I'm just saying, go into a store where our clothes don't fit. It's our size,
Yes.
but because of our curvaceousness and the way our bodies are made, they don't fit. They're made for the tula,
Yes, they are.
So and I always said, oh, I want an abuela, which is grandma in Spanish, but I was like, I want someone to make my clothes. And then I come here and it's like, everyone goes to the tailor. Everyone's clothes is personally made for them.
Yes, that's right.
And it's just coming back home, it's just, it fits. Yes, we don't have the infrastructure that America and the Western world has, but what we get, I feel like it's a give and take. Okay, so I don't have paved roads, but guess what? The materials and the resources are cheap enough or inexpensive enough that a group of us can get it and pave our own roads and then employ our brothers and sisters to do it. Because they build everything.
Yes,
They build
did
everything.
the same thing with the West in America. We built those things. So
Railroads and
now it's
everything.
time for Africa. It's now for Africa to build themselves.
Correct.
We cannot continue to allow ourselves going out to these other places. Because I have children outside, and that's why we're here, is to at least start something, give them a foundation, so when they come with their own skills, they can fit in and find something they can do here.
Now, we also have two nonprofit organizations. We have one here in Gambia. We have one in the United States, Healthy Ways Foundation. And we haven't really asked for any money in the 4 years that we've had it up there. We've allowed people to see what we have been doing. And between teaching the different men and women how to be vegan chefs, well then they in turn eat better, turn this information over to their families, it spreads to their community, ultimately their country. So we have been working with this on the surface because when you do change the way you eat, you want to change the way you think. The other things, once we do that, the door is open as we continue for them to start donating right about now. So we can put in place all of those other things that we saw we could do in the Gambia. Like Bobo's a good example of what he's been doing. Bobo, could you tell them what you've been doing in your area?
Recently I'm doing a restaurant on the beach in Kalindi. Kalindi, so it is a wood with wood. I'm making it with wood. So it is an association from the youth in Kalindi, which I'm the chairman. So we're working on how to maintain and protect our own environment down on the beach and the coastal, the mangroves, planting more mangroves, keeping the street clean.
That's great.
Yeah, and then making access for people to dock like ships. Like when I was young, my mom used to tell me that place was used for fishing, all those things. So people used to come and get a lot of fish. But you know, now that's not happening because most of the ships don't come and boats don't come and talk. So, but what we are doing in there, that will create more access for the people in there, you know, and a sense of ownership. People to know to own something that they are around with, you know? And be proud of it, you know.
What part of Tallahassee? Because I'm always in Tallahassee.
Talenting on the beach, you see talenting the mocks, the Johnson and the mocks, the Bantaba Road.
Wait, the Bantaba School?
Yeah, the Bantaba School.
Oh my goodness, that's where I be. Okay, we're gonna talk later.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Good. I will show you some pictures of it.
Because we did the rice giveaway.
I want to hear from you and your knowledge and your wisdom on how sisters can combat the thyroid problem.
In our book, we have a chapter on thyroids, but we also have one on prostate. Basically the same type of organs, so you can have the same remedy for either one. Number one, it starts with intake. And when you stop, once again, taking in the salt, sugar, and grease. And for women, a lot of them don't think that when they put something on their skin, whether their face or their hair, it's not going to go into their body. So what we have to do is look at what we're putting on our hair and on our face and just regulate that. If it's not natural, don't do it. Part of what we've been caught up into is a world of vanity. And vanity is dictated by those who are controlling the media. So, once again, our obligation right now is to throw off all of that and look in terms of just straight basics. You know, if you look at the book, we have what you should be doing. For instance, like with men, women do this. They take regular baths. And they take baths with warm to hot water. Why is that important? It's important because when you eat your food and it goes through the regular cycle through the intestines, and there's a very thin layer of cells or membrane between your colon and your prostate, or for women, your uterus. So if you are having what you call constipated with that fecal matter just staying there, it's only a thin membrane and it will migrate. And if it migrates, then it's going to cause infections or problems. So that's one thing, to keep hydrating, drink water regularly, eat the food that is going to be what we call alkaline. That's fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes as we call them, beans, nuts, and your seeds. And also, because we've had, once again, those folks that are wonderful with marketing, they had us believing that vegetable oil is good for us. It's not. They're just industrial oils. They're clear because they've had to put things in it to process it that way. And because the omega fats in there turn rancid and they smell like get up and go, they put in chemical deodorizers in there also, so you don't smell it. But when you do eat this stuff, it causes many problems. And some of that contributes to the uterine fibroids. Now, we're really lucky, that for men, we suggest you take more baths in hot water, warm water, so you can help to keep things flowing. Hydrate yourself. If you find that your mouth is feeling a little choppy, you don't wait too long. Each day, set out how much water you're going to drink and be diligent about that. We got to keep things flowing because our body is mostly liquid water. And as we talked about earlier, if you want to leave this planet, you just stop drinking water for 3 days. Okay? So it's very important that they do that. We talk about the things they put in their hair. And we all know about the lye and all that stuff. It goes in and your body, it duplicates what your body is thinking. Okay? And as a result, it starts to react. Like with anything that they can't get rid of, your body's going to wrap itself around and try to separate it. And we end up what we call fibroid tumors. And once again,
if you are going to get rid of them, change what you put in. You know, our bodies have a natural cycle. So there's a certain point that most women are going to have some fibroid tumors, as we call it. But at a certain point, they're going to dissipate if you are having the right intake of food. Okay? So we don't encourage people to run out and have people cut out things. Because once you've had something taken out, like your uterus, you're like a ship without a rudder or a car emotionally without a steering wheel. So you have to work very, very hard in terms of taking quiet time, meditation, Kundalini yoga or others, exercising, so that emotionally you can keep yourself within a certain area of balance. And you also have to counteract the different medications you do. Prevention is better than the cure, so just start off your intake. And even if you've gone overboard, once again, come back to intake. That is your diet, as I like to call it intake rather than diet, and also what you put in your mind. Because your very thoughts help to shape your body.
So, what would you say about the medication that they're giving the sisters in the States for the thyroids?
Well, I feel very uncomfortable with any kind of medication if it's something that you can do naturally. And with anything, like I suggest, if someone is getting medication, I don't know if it's the right medication for them or not, but I do know this. They can go to a health food store and find out what ingredients there are in there and try to duplicate that with something that's more helpful.
And what page you can find that on?
Okay, that is the chapter on fibroid tumors, and let's see. Prostate, yes, on page 225.
225.
And for the men, that's page 233. And there you have all of the different herbs and remedies you can take while you're just with your intake of your food. And if you have the challenge to help to shrink them and keep them away. And there are many different ways, not just with the food. But I said other things you can do with the meditation and taking in certain stones, vibrations. So we put it all in.
So Lisa,
So pretty, isn't it pretty? Because normally, when I'm with my brothers and sisters, I do with my hands. Oh yeah, that's okay. I just want some of everything. I just don't want to open it. I'm taking a couple of you. Take a picture. I'm gonna. Black eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna give these to you. I love beans. My mother bought me a pressure cooker. Oh, I absolutely love beans.
This is the special one. This is the lasagna.
Yeah, my mother purchased she bought me a pressure cooker because I used to want to cook at 3 o'clock and she's like, you can't use your what is it called? The slow cooker. She said, girl, you're never going to eat.
Let me get another spoon.
It's my pressure cooker. Another big one right here.
Yeah, I got a brand new,
This is the cornbread. It has seaweed in it. It has sesame seeds, flaxseed.
There we go. Okay. I'm gonna sit this here. You got it. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think I was last time I did you a whole lot, but you know, I love to eat, so I'm in.
Your braids are real cute. You get the braids to get here? Real nice.
I just try to get a little something.
And this recipe is in the book. Oh, it this is in the book. And if you have any challenges, I can show you how to do it. Give you ideas. We're gonna do videos. I'm gonna show you how it's done.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's easy.
I was telling your husband that one of the projects that we have that we're going to be doing is once for people that are master of their craft, you know, to teach us, to educate us, you know.
Right.
No one's going to change overnight, but I can tell you, once they eat vegan food and be full and not plant-based,
You know what this pizza is? A combination of stew, African stew, and it's a combination of salad with all the greens, cashew cheese. We have plant protein. Yeah, this is the stew. To share with you guys. And this is the one that doesn't have a lot of spices. When they came out the spices, I'm relearning how to make the vegetables that's not so spicy, that's very healing to the body because I still like to
I get cabbage, yes, like they're right. And I gave them steak with
I got me. I don't get it. Saya mama nasira.
you know why?
Kira kan mama nak ambil ini.
This one here, my dog, this.
Di dengan am kama nice. Yang abro. Kama dole dong kama guys terus di rumah. Tapi no nice. Dengan kama be pandang.
Yeah. Because then they can look at you like I'm not there.
It's so good.
It's less expensive and you can be less busy to the business. Because now you don't need
Sharan, nice to meet you. Nice to meet
welcome.
you. Hello. All the chefs.
Nice Fatima, she stepped away. Oh, she said, nice to meet you. They created for you.
Okay.
So we have the lasagna. Vegan. This is our time. It can go on top of, yeah, it can go on top of that. And we do have some wild rice.
How about that for son?
Yeah, some wild rice in there. We also have wild rice and forgot it. It's on the stove. I'll take the wild rice. We have water and we have a citrus drink. The citrus drink is more or less a detox. You can't do in there for each other.
Nobody can hear anything. You were in there. Before me and Peter got here. Give a hi. You know when you first come out of there.